Good morning, Cadre. It is Sunday, June 10th, the morning. I just barely got out of the shower. Getting ready for a quick shave of the day. Going to treat this similar to a journal entry again. Figured I will talk through a little bit of a recap of my basketball camp while we're going through this. What it was is it's put on by the University of Utah for all of the high schools in the state of Utah. They all bring a freshman team, a sophomore team, a JV team, and a varsity team. And they put them out into brackets and they crown a champion in each one over the course of the 3 days. They work with the Utah High School Activities Association and other conferences from around the United States to come to do basically two things: scout players and also scout referees. So the UHSAA uses it for to help hone in skills for us referees so that way we can get better and continue to move up, because they use a ranking system that is from 100 down to 900. You can have two ratings in basketball in the state of Utah, one in a men's and one in a women's. In women's, I am a 300 official. In men's, I am a 450 official. In order to work the best games, meaning the 6A state championship game, you have to be a 100 official, obviously. So you got to continue to climb the ranks and work your way up to the top. So the higher your ranking, the better your games. And I hate saying it that way because there's really good basketball happening. For instance, in a 3A men's basketball game, if it's between rivals, for instance. I mean, it's still good basketball. It's just you're not refereeing potentially the best players in the state. So that's a little bit of a rundown of what the point of the camp is, so that way you guys kind of have a little bit of a background. So it is competitive, very competitive. I mean, because a lot of these high schools are bringing kids with them, and they might put them on the varsity team for this summer league camp, but they're like looking at them from a coach standpoint saying, depending on how you perform, will determine if you're going to be a rotational player or if you're going to be warm in the end of the bench for the varsity team. So the kids take this very seriously. They understand that this is very important, which makes it fun for us. But what's interesting is that it's still super competitive. You're still dealing with coaches. You're still dealing with players, because they don't understand that the referees that are at this conference for them, we all are wearing numbers on our shorts, so it's very obvious that what we're there for, that we're being graded. We're during timeouts, halftime, before and after, we're going and talking to evaluators. That doesn't happen in real basketball. So it paints this perception that's kind of hard to like, oh, these referees are new, they're learning. It's like, no, a lot of us are veterans. There was a couple guys there who were brand new, but for the most part, we're all seasoned veterans, just trying to make our game better. Some of the coaches caught on to that as time went on, because we would talk to them and we would let them know, kind of explain it. But here's the second piece. We were there and we paid to be there. We weren't being paid. So we were doing this, and I took 2 days off work to go do this, So it's a little different from that standpoint, because you're doing this for yourself. I'm always doing it for myself, but it just felt different. I hope that makes sense. So anyways, let's jump into the shave today. I've got a lot going on, and I've got to still get ready for church, because we got mass coming up in a couple hours, and the kids are still asleep, so I'm trying to get this in before then. So on deck today, as promised, all of the, well, not all, but a good majority of the Legacy members who have this soap are going to be using it today. And we're also going to be breaking in our new brushes on today. So here's what I'm using. Chisel Face Ghost Town Barber. I will wrap it up with, guess what? Chisel Face Ghost Town Barber aftershave. And then off camera, I will be using is this EDT or is it EDP? I can't remember. EDP, chisel face. So I've had it blooming. I've already had a shower. My brush is right here. This beauty of a brush. It's been soaking. Yes, I do soak my synthetics. We can get into that as why on the forum if anybody has a question as to why I do that. But I've got my basin filled with warm water. I'm going to rehydrate my face real quick. Because it took me a little bit longer than I would have liked to set up my phone. I'm trying a little bit of a different angle, so I hope the lighting is good. But, okay. Face is wet. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's begin. I did bloom my soap, so I'm going to add some of that bloom water into my beard area. Okay, dry off the hands real quick. Alright, dump out the water on the brush, give it a quick squeeze. First go with the TSC Legacy brush made by Eric Sorrentino. Non-legacy members who are the lifeblood of the forum, as I have explained in a post. Need a little bit more water here. You guys can get a brush too. My understanding is a couple of you have already talked to Eric about it, which is great. I've got plenty of those coins still to go on the bottom of brushes. We're using them as other items as well around the forum, so for other events that we've got planned. So needless to say, there's plenty to go around. I bought 100 of them. We have a little over 60 members currently. So anybody can get one. I haven't had a new member in a while. We've been so focused on content, I think we need to think of something to get to 100 soon. We need to figure out how to get to 100 soon. 100 members. It's funny because other forums, if you look at their statistics, they usually only average around anywhere from 80 to 120 active people online throughout the day. So even though they have a lot of content, it's just built up over time. So there's not a lot of, that's a lot of people, right, that are commenting on a Shea forum. So, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to use the RazoRock SLOC again. I've been using this all week. It's a great brush. This handle I thought would be slippery, but it actually is very grippy. I've really enjoyed it, and I've got that big Bluebird blade loaded into it. According to the dice, this is going to be its 5th shave, so we'll see how it goes. So, all right. So, anyways, the way this worked is I worked about 12 games for each day over the course of the 3 days. Because this is Summer League, the rules were a little different. 2 18-minute halves, running clocks. Each team, had 1 timeout for each half. So the games were quick. They weren't as long or lengthy as a regular high school game that I'm used to officiating. But the reason is because they've got so many teams here and they're trying to do this tournament style round robin, Thursday and Friday, and then the bracket set up for Saturday. So, while yes, I'm used to running and I'm used to doing this type of work, I wouldn't say I'm physically tired. I'm sore, but it's normal soreness after working an event. What I am is mentally tired. All the time in the classroom, all the time in the watching film, breaking down film, talking with evaluators, talking with conferences. It's just mentally exhausting and physically exhausting. Usually when I come home from a football game or a basketball game, I'm just physically tired. I'm not mentally tired. I'm both physically and mentally just exhausted after these 3 days. I took in so much information about my game and the game of basketball. It was overwhelming at times. This is such great soap. The brush is so comfortable in the hand. It's unbelievable. Great design. Uh-oh, I got a cat at the door. Should I let her in? Alright, 1 second. I'm going to pause and let the cat in. She pulled a trick on me. I opened the door and she took off. What she wants is to be fed. Cats. Alright, so anyways, let's get into a little bit of game story. The game I'm going to talk to you about, and I have film. So I'm going to be breaking down my own film, but I'm taking like a couple days off from it. But what I'll do is I'll try and upload some clips, see if I can parse it out and snip it down and get some clips up. I think that would be kind of cool, don't you guys think? I think it would. If you guys don't like it, it doesn't matter. I mean, you don't have to watch it, but I mean, I'll parse them down into small 2-minute clips. So a couple of things that we talked about in this clinic is that at the high school level and at the college level, a lot of officials will kind of do lazy calling. And what I mean by lazy calling is that when it's a big moment of the game, they don't sell it. So, you know, for instance, like they'll come up and they'll just be like, got a foul? Offense. Or there'll be an and one situation. They'll go up and they'll go, foul. And then they'll just count it. They want to see some emphasis from the referees so that way coaches and players know that we are confident in the call that we're making. So they wanted us to really just like be crisp and bang it out there. They want us to swing our arm down for the and one in the right moment of the game. So we were working on that a lot. So that's kind of fun. So during a game that I want to talk to you guys about, on Saturday morning, the days ran together too. So Saturday morning, they put all of our names in a hat. There was 56 of us, I think, or 59. I can't remember. It was right around 60-ish officials that were there at this camp. They put us all in a hat and they said, rather than us put you on the games, we're confident that you could all work every game. So we're going to draw for the championship rounds. So from the varsity final, they drew varsity final first, JV final, sophomore final, freshman final. And then they did the same thing for semifinals. And they did this through the quarterfinal rounds. And that basically placed all the officials pretty much. I got drawn, I don't know how, first. So I've got to work the varsity final game. And in the varsity final game was a player who, let me just rinse real quick. There was a player who, and I think every state does this, they have a Mr. Basketball and a Miss Basketball. So this player won Mr. Utah basketball as a junior. So he's going into his senior season. He's committed to the University of Utah already. Amazing small forward. Crazy good player. So he's in this game. Both teams have players that are almost right around 7 feet tall. And I'm doing this game, which is awesome because a lot of people feel like this was basically a precursor to what's going to happen in the 6A at the end of the year. So yeah, both 6A, both of these teams were 6A. They made it to the final round. Guys, woo! What a game! What a game! We had some pretty good calls. Nothing that I felt upset about. I had an instance where I guess I'll do this as quick as I can. If you pay attention, there's 3 officials on the court. On the in line, so underneath the basket, that's called the lead official. The official that stands outside of him on the same line, so whatever side of the court he's on, left or right, so let's say he's on the right side, the official that's also on the right side out along the three-point line is called the trail official. That official, when in transition, is going to be the new lead official. Hope that makes sense. So on the opposite side, usually standing around the free throw line extended, is the center official. This official during transition will move to the other center position. The trail moves along the baseline and decides where his best angle is going to be and takes that side. So if he rotates over to the left side now, then the center becomes the trail. So I hope you follow. That's a very basic rendition of what we're doing here, okay? So anyways, I am center, and I've got a play going around the top, and I see that out of the corner of my eye, I got a player down in the corner on the three-point line. That's my secondary key. And because my primary key is I've got a matchup in the paint, well, on the edge of the paint free throw line of 2 players fighting for position. The ball comes around and gets to my player on the three-point line. So now I've got to do a quick, slight turn, pay attention to him. He goes up for the three-point shot, and as he's in the air, a player comes in and just swipes out underneath his legs, and he falls hard. Boom, got foul on the three-point shot. He made it. Coach is going berserk. Like, he fell on his own. He wasn't even touched. And so I'm over there reporting my foul. You know, I'm like, all right, we got a foul on 32. Hit. Basket's good. Shooting 1, making a 4-point play. Coach is going nuts, right? Because it's a close game. It's for the championship. I'm like, Coach, he totally wiped out his legs. You have to allow the shooter an opportunity to land. This is high school. They're not good enough to pull off a James Harden move, right? I mean, where they can kick their leg out and fall down. I mean, even Mr. Basketball himself isn't good enough to do that yet. I know some people say that the chiseled face isn't the best, but I find it actually slick enough that I could just add a little bit of water and touch up these trouble areas that I miss. So anyways, so that was a good call of mine. I was very happy about that call. I got it on film. It was good. So fast forward a little bit. Another really fun call, and this will be the last one that I tell in this film. I'm trail this time, but the ball is working its way down in the paint. So I don't have action, well, that I'm watching, okay? So I've got a matchup at the three-point line. They're moving around, there's some screens happening, and then I've got a secondary matchup at the top of the key. My center, he has nothing. All 10 players are on this side of the court where Lead and I are at. So he's looking through. and he's keying up on my secondary matchup, which is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to do that. You're right. If he doesn't have a matchup, he's not just supposed to stand there and look pretty. He's supposed to key in on another matchup. So he's watching over there at that other matchup, and I'm watching it out of the corner of my eye because it's my secondary. I'm keying in here. The ball comes around and it's up now at my guard. And so I'm really keying in, but I still got out of the corner of my eye. Out of the corner of my eye, I see the offensive player fight for position, wrap his arm around the neck of the defender in front of him, and pull him down. My partner goes up with his whistle first, cross the key. Boom. I go up right after, which is called a cadence whistle. Right after, boom, I got a foul too. We lock eyes, and this is where one of us have to decide who's giving up the call. Am I going to give it up to him, or is he going to give it up to me? He goes, take it. He points right at me and take it. And probably the reason is because it's technically in my area. It was my secondary coverage. It was my secondary option, but it was still in my primary coverage area. So he gives it up to me, and I go, offensive. Boom. We're going this way. We're going this way. Offensive. Coach is going berserk. He's upset. He's irate. He's all like, no, the defensive player was pushing him back. He was the one that was pushing. My offensive player was just trying to get around. He's yelling and screaming. I'm like, coach, the way I saw it is your player had his arm wrapped around the defensive player's neck and pulled him down to the ground. He's like, that's not the way it all happened. You missed the part before. So I just said to him, which referees can be honest, I'm like, that's possible. I was keying up on the matchup up top. I saw this one, and I saw that what happened. It's still a foul. What I saw was that foul. So, this is a play that I'm going to try and get on the film for you guys, if I can figure it all out, how to parse it down. But this was one where, after film, I got it wrong. So at halftime, not halftime, at the end of the game, my partner and I were talking, the one that was center across from me. He says, I was going defensive foul, not offensive. I'm like, why? He said basically what the coach said. And I was like, oh man. I was like, why didn't you take it then? He says, because I thought you were going to go that too. And I said, well, I was keying on my primary area. This was my secondary option. I had the ball on my side. And he says, yeah, I should have recognized that and taken it. So we take our film, we go over to the film review room, we sit down and we're talking. And we say, you got to go to 5 minutes, 30 seconds of the second half. There is a play we got to watch. We got to see, did we get it right? Did we mess it up? It was at 5 minutes. So, I'll admit, we messed it up. But you know what? It didn't affect the outcome of the game. This was it didn't affect the outcome of the game at all. This was a different game. This wasn't the championship round. This was a different game. Hope I made that clear. This play was not in that championship game. So anyways, we're talking in film study about it. Let me just rinse this soap off real quick so I can get my chase along. So the evaluator says, reviewing it, told the center across court, says, yes, the call for you is across court, and yes, there was a cadence whistle, which there should have been. But he says it would have been better if the center just said, I'm taking it, kind of gave himself one of these. It's mine. I saw the whole play. Needs to recognize that I had another coverage area up top. And if he would have done that, I'd been like, go for it, man. Because to me, that means he saw the whole play. I admit that I didn't see that whole matchup. So The reason why I tell you guys this story is because mistakes happen. And I know that with the NBA, I'm not sticking up for the NBA. I'm not sticking up for college. I ain't doing that. These are professional referees that have been doing it a long time. And in this camp, I worked with some NBA referees. I worked with some college male and female referees. Great referees. And I'll tell you this right now. The common theme is that they admit they make mistakes. Realize, and this would be my only ask for any sports, just coming from an official, and then I'm going to end this video. We see it one time out there, one time. And we have one chance to get it right. TV has 20 cameras, 20 different angles, a camera keying on every single individual player pretty much. It can zoom in, slow down the play. You guys get multiple looks. I get multiple looks as a fan. Remember that the next time you guys try to complain about the referees. Yes, we can be better. That's a fact. But that's why we put in the work to try and get better. We get one shot. Basketball, there's 6 eyes out there, guys. With 10 players on the court. There's 6 eyes. 3 guys versus 10. We've got to watch it. Football, there's 22 guys out there. 5 officials. In high school. NFL and college is around 9. But still, hope you guys understand what I'm saying here. We get one shot to look at it. And yes, there's some reviews and challenges and calls can change, but we get one shot. And I like to believe, if you really sit back and think about it, 9 times out of 10, we get them right. But that one that we get wrong, yeah, it's going to be big. And it happens. It happens. And that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So, I had a great shave, guys. Eric, you knocked it out of the park with that brush, man. I hope more guys order one. I got plenty of coins for them to order one, so we need to use them. I'm going to wrap up with my aftershave here, and I'm going to let you guys go. I got to finish getting ready for church. My daughter is having her surgery tomorrow, putting the ear tubes in. So if you guys could say a little something, I appreciate it. Aside from that, cadre, hope you all have a good one. Have a great Sunday. I'll try and get this posted for sure today. Have a good one.